Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the 5-Minute Major, where we discuss the hottest topics in sports and what could be hotter than the Grey Cup. And we're going to delve right into that and talk about the Saskatchewan Roughriders versus the Montreal Alouettes. Maybe a bit of a mismatch on paper, but a lot of people have to like the Roughriders for their pluck and their incredible fan support and the fact that they're going there and going to be the home team, no question, in Calgary. Who do you say is going to win this one, Freezer, and why?
Oh, I don't need to make a prediction right away, do I? I want to save that for the end of the week. But let's face it, Montreal's got almost everything going for them. Best offense in the league. Best defense in the league. Great return game in the little guy. Larry Taylor?
Larry Taylor.
Good kicker. Great coach. So there isn't a whole lot favoring Saskatchewan. But there are two things favoring Saskatchewan. They're going to be the hometown favorite, even though it's in Calgary. Everybody from Saskatchewan's going to go over.
They might have been in Montreal even.
They may have been no matter where it's played. Yeah. And actually, I can't think of a second thing. That might be the only thing. No, the second thing is...
So the fans are all they have going for them?
The second thing is they're going to feel disrespected and the huge underdog. And that, a little extra motivation there. From Damien Durant on down. Damien. Did you hear?
No.
Mark Trestman, the Alouettes coach, in the coaches' conferences today, called him Damien Durant. So they're going to jump all over that they're not getting any respect.
No respect. And he thinks that he's a devil child of some sort. Jimmy, what do you say?
Damien.
Actually, Trestman had two different first names for Durant. And it's one of those little things that could give a team enough of an edge of a motivation to really want to stick it to Montreal, like Muhammad Ali in the ring when he kept telling, I can't remember who the fighter was, what's my name, as he bashed his brains out.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm shocked that Montreal's 9-point favorites for this thing because Saskatchewan really does have a really good defense. And I don't know if Montreal's faced a defense as good this year, except when they played the Riders. The difference to me, the biggest difference, is an offense. In Saskatchewan, without Weston Dressler, is not as good an offense. Durant sort of proved himself last week in the playoffs, but I'm still not convinced he can do it in the playoffs. But then Calvillo hasn't had a great record in the playoffs either. So I think it's going to be a lot closer than a 9-point game.
Well, we talked about this last week, and Calvillo has not had a great record in the Grey
Cup.
He's 1-5, and that is an intangible that I point to as a big issue for Montreal. Yes, they are great. They're great on paper in every facet of the game, but it has to be in their heads a bit that this is something that they've had trouble getting over this hurdle.
Yeah.
And now they're going up against a team that is coming in with basically nothing to lose, great fan support, and really a strong team. I mean, we saw them play, albeit against the Blue Bombers, and destroy them this season. And Damien Durant has looked better and better all season long.
Now,
they've got this fantastic group of Canadian receivers who've just been showing the world, the Canadian football world anyway, that you can do it with Canadian talent, and more Canadian talent than you're even required to have. I think Saskatchewan has a legitimate chance of winning this. Don't think they're going to, but they certainly shouldn't be written off.
What happened in the two games they played each other in this year? Big Montreal wins. I don't have the scores handy, but they won them pretty easily. The pressure factor, you talked about that a little bit. Calvillo's got so much to prove, and the Alouettes are 1-5 in Grey Cups this decade. So much pressure on them. The season's a write-off if they don't win this game. It's a lost season. The Riders, it's gravy from here on in. Like you said, no pressure, loosey-goosey. That's what they got going for them, and I hope it makes for a great game. It should make for a great game.
Yeah, Jimmy, you figure we're not going to see a blowout, do you think?
Not at all. I just said that. I think it's going to be a lot closer. But Montreal does have a lot better defense than Calgary's does, and I think that could be a telling point too.
Yeah, when you look at Saskatchewan, I think that they don't have the same kind of elite talent that Montreal has, but they do have a solid running back in Wes Cates. I think Damien Durant has proven himself to be a very capable quarterback, and I really do like those receivers, and I like the game plan. I mean, Paul LaPolice called a great game as offensive coordinator last game. Another guy the Bombers didn't want, right?
Yeah.
But, really, that's an incredible part of what's been going on with that team is that they've had such a good game plan that it doesn't matter that it's kind of a no-name offense.
Yeah, they're smart. I talked to Brendan Taman last week about the Riders. He's, of course, in their front office now, and he says they just find ways. They just all rely on each other, and when one part of the team isn't pulling its weight, the other one makes up for it. They just find ways to get it done.
All right. Well, we're not giving you our official picks here, although I did go and say that I believe Montreal will win it in a very close one. Jimmy, you can say it too because you're not in any kind of contest like Paul over here.
I'm waiting.
I'll pick Montreal, but thanks for pointing out how lousy my picks have been this year. It really
And Paul and Kirk Penton from the Sun are very close. They could end up tied, so he's not going to make his official pick here, but I think you've heard his ideas, and you can decide for yourself. Thanks very much for joining us here on this Grey Cup edition of the 5 Minute Major. I'm Sun Sports editor Ted Wyman. We'll talk to you again next week.